have made it to Singapore. In this video, I'm going to show you how much we can get up to in just 48 hours. We have researched as much as we can. We're probably not going to get around to all of it, but we're going to give it our best shot. So let's sit back, enjoy the video, and this is Singapore. Singapore is regarded as one of the most expensive cities in the entire world. We have had hotels across our trip so far, anything between 10 and 15 pounds a night. This hotel is probably one of the worst ones we've stayed in, and it's a whopping 65 pounds a night. We couldn't find anything cheaper than this. It is literally the most basic of rooms. The view itself is just terrible. The one thing we will give it credit for is the location is absolutely fantastic. It's right in the centre of Singapore, near the Marina Bay sands, near Chinatown, literally near all the museums, near Clark Quay. The whole lot is slap bang in the middle. So that's why we picked it. We're barely going to spend any time in this room. So let's get exploring Singapore. Oh, how we've missed you, 7-Eleven. We have not had a 7-Eleven since we left Thailand. It is good to have them back, except the prices. Singapore prices, they're like 2-3 times the price, but still, it's good to see 7-Eleven. So we've come down to the Clark Quay, which is the closest thing to our hotel. The skies are looking really, really dark, so we might not get much out tonight, but we're going to see how much we can explore. But this area is lovely. The sun is just setting, so it's all starting to light up. It's a beautiful area. So it did end up raining last night, quite a lot of the evening, so we had to cut it short. But we're back out today. We've got plenty on the list. First up is the National Museum of Singapore. And hopefully we're going to be able to walk through Fort Canning Park because it's on the way through and the park is supposed to be beautiful. Very early observations of this place is it's so much more efficient than any other place we've been. 4 lanes going through the middle of the city. We've just gone round a busy crossroads intersection and it is so quiet. There's barely any traffic. If you compare to Bangkok and Chiang Mai and some of the places we've been, Vientiane, this is just so much different to anything we've experienced so far. Trust us to be the children in the park.
She's all alone.
Interesting to see the history about how it used to be a military fort and now it's been turned into a beautiful gardens. There's a really good free museum right in the centre, and there's a great video presentation that describes the history of Singapore pre-Sir Stamford Raffles up until modern day. Really, really nice. The National Museum of Singapore is an absolute must-do. That was brilliant. It shows a really good insight into Singapura, which was the early history of Singapore, right through to the colonial era and then modern day Singapore. It really had everything in the museum that you wanted to see. It was a really nice walkthrough. It even had an interactive section at the end, and you got a little token if you followed the trail, which was really cool experience to do. The official site charges $15 a person. We managed to go through a third-party handler and got 2 tickets for just $17. So definitely go through a third party to save money. The QR code scanned immediately as soon as you enter the museum, and you got your tickets there and then, and a nice sticky badge just so guards didn't keep stopping you. One thing we've noticed as well is Singapore is by far the cleanest place that we have been. We haven't seen a scrap of litter anywhere. If you compare it to the likes of Bangkok, it's just worlds apart. And the museum sums it up really, really well about the obsessive nature of the government and how hard they work to clean up both the streets and the rivers of Singapore. And I think it's summed up really nicely currently in the modern day at the heavy fines that they put on signs all around the city for littering, for smoking, for drinking on the streets. So it just shows if a government puts pressure and weight behind a movement, it really pays off. This city is immaculately clean. I don't know how they've managed to do it, but their infrastructure here is the best I've ever seen, ever. They've got a 5-lane carriageway going through the literal centre of Singapore. There is no build-up of congestion apart from being at lights. There is no traffic. I don't know how they've done it, but it's made it so easy to get around. We've just come from the museum down to Chinatown, about half an hour walk, and we just visited the Buddhist Tooth Temple. Such a beautiful temple, free to enter as well, loads of different floors, and at the rooftop they've got a prayer wheel. That was really beautiful. A must see if you come to Chinatown, that is for sure. And opposite the Buddhist Tooth Relic Temple is the Maxwell Food Centre, which I think is a traditional Chinese street food hall. So in the last clip I said it was a Chinese traditional street food. My apologies. It's actually a Singaporean hawker centre which serves Chinese and Malaysian food. I just assumed it being in Chinatown it would be Chinese, but it's not, it's Singaporean. But we have got the famous chicken fried rice. That's nice. Roast chicken, gravy and rice, can't go wrong. Dish number 2, our traditional Singapore fried rice with sausage. So yesterday was a cultural day. Today is all about being around the marina and the Marina Bay sands. We're going to stick to all of that area, including the Gardens by the Bay tonight. We walked through Raffles Place, which was the first place Sir Stamford Raffles made a business and finance area, and obviously now modern day it is Singapore's main finance and district hub, and it has got 1,000,001 skyscrapers. It is massive. The Merlion is under construction, under renovation, but it's still a pretty view of the Marina Bay Sands. It's just a shame because we wanted to see the Merlion for years. Just means we'll have to come back. So we've actually booked to go up the Marina Bay Sands for sunset. May not get one because it's been very rainy and cloudy today, but the whole marina, any angle that you stand at, it's just as pretty as the last. It's such a beautiful area. They've done such a good job of what they've built in the last decade in and around the marina. Honestly, this whole area by the Marina Bay Sands, the shopping, the Lotus that's behind me, the Lotus Pond, it's all super well kept. It's all super clean. It's absolutely stunning. It's probably the prettiest, cleanest place we've seen this whole trip by an absolute mile. And also, you know the area's posh when there's a Louis Vuitton shop in the water. reason why this place in particular is so special to us is because the show we watched featured this at the end of their program, and we watched this show
so many times
ever since we became a couple. So for 3 to 3.5 years we have dreamt about being on this deck, and it's raining. 3.5 years we've waited, we've come, and the skies are black, but nothing is going to break our spirits. We are going to enjoy this moment. a trip to Marina Bay Sands if we didn't finish it with a light show at Gardens by the Bay. So for our last day, we managed to push back our bus to the afternoon so we could maximise our last few hours in Singapore. We've come a bit further out and we've come to Haji Lane. Haji Lane is a street that's got Indian influence. It's right near the mosque. There's lots going on. There's loads of people eating and drinking. It's really colourful. It's really pretty. It's just nice to get away from the really commercial area, come a bit further out and explore some different scenery and culture in Singapore. The best way I can describe it is it's very similar to Camden in London. Loads of independent shops, small streets, really colourful. And the roads around Haji Lane are just filled with souvenir shops, loads of silk, really colourful. It's a lovely area that's here around the mosque. Definitely worth coming to visit and spending an hour or two. And then 2 minutes from the mosque, there's this shopping complex, which is like a throwback in time. Every single shopping centre we've been to so far in Southeast Asia is all brand new and modern, and this one is probably 20, 30 years old, and it's got bags of charm. So for our last stop on our Singapore tour, we have come to the world famous Long Bar at the Raffles Hotel. This place is the home, the creation of the Singapore Sling. This bar is also well known for the complimentary nuts that are given when you have a drink. And apparently back in the day, you used to just chuck the nuts on the floor, the shavings, and they still do it to this day. This place is covered in nuts all over the floor. It is brilliant. There is a constant queue outside and it's only open 12 till 10. It just shows how many people want to be in this place trying the Singapore Sling where it was created. Can you believe that 2 drinks in the Long Bar cost 85 Singapore dollars? That's got to be, pound for pound, one of the most expensive bars in the world. But as a one-off treat and the home of the Singapore Sling, I'd say it's worth it. And on that note, that is the end of 48 hours in Singapore. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We have certainly tried to do as much as physically possible in 48 hours. This city is absolutely massive. There is so much more to do. We're going to have to come back one day. You've still got the cloud forest, you've still got the botanical gardens, you've still got many other paid events, you've got cinemas and theatres. This place is endless for attractions. This is one of the cleanest, tidiest, fanciest cities in the world. It's an absolute must if you're coming to Southeast Asia. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.